their trips, things like that. And I came upon an article that's talking about different things that are trending in the travel industry since 2016. And I think, some of the information might be a little useful for us. So it's saying something like travelers looking to sign off, meaning get rid of all digital activity, turning off your phone, turning off the Wi-Fi, turning off all of that, and just really getting back to themselves, their family, things like that. And I did notice in the past few months that there are a lot of people, myself included, who have posed the idea of parents getting together, putting together a trip like to the cabins, somewhere like that, where there really is no service anyway, so you can't access the outside world in that fashion. And just turning off the digital feeds so that you can kind of get back in touch with each other and relate to each other. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. But right now, I do want to introduce my special guest, Miss Keisha Morrison. Again, she is a trendsetter, a ceiling crasher. She is a businesswoman, a single mother, and all around wonderful human being. Miss Keisha Morris, how are you today?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
I'm doing
So, Keisha, let's start with you introducing your business. What's the name of your business and how can we reach you?
Well, my business name is actually Keisha Dream Travel. It's actually been profitable for the past 3 years by itself. It's actually, again, franchised to Extreme Travel. And reaching me, you can either reach me by cell phone. It's immediate, 678-508-4320. Or you can send me a quick email at Keisha, and that's spelled, I know Keisha is spelled totally different ways, Keisha, and Dream Travel at mail, that's mail.com.
Okay, and thank you very much, Keisha. Now, I want to really get into some things that some people might wonder. So could you please just give us a little bit of background on your story? What brought you to the travel industry? What made you choose to become an entrepreneur?
Oh, wow. At heart, I've always been an entrepreneur probably for the past 16 years. Most people, as they'll grow up in different environments, they show this bar for themselves. Growing up, I can say I was an entrepreneur that anywhere between more alarms, washing cars, babysitting, and I had my own actual childcare that was in assistance with my dad's home. So to me, that was the biggest entrepreneur I could do, was raising somebody else's children, totally by myself, with credentials. The travel industry sort of brought itself to me. I love traveling the world. I love seeing experience. And being a single mom of 3, I wanted my kids to see something different than the States. There's a lot of different values out there in all different continents. And without actually seeing it, especially what you can cherish, what you can bring back, I wanted my children to be able to witness that. I was in the military, so I did get to dabble in traveling. But people that's in the military, they probably know that being a soldier in the military and traveling is a lot different than being a civilian in the military traveling. You don't get to experience what you want to experience. You might get to travel different places, of course, but you can't pick the value when you're actually there, to actually see the land, what you want to actually see there. So travel was my life. My dad, I could probably say he pushed me into that because religiously every year, possibly 1 to 2 times a year, we were going to cruise. And that's what brought me to seeing different things outside the United States. I did a couple more research, and my background is actually in mechanics.
Wow, wait, go back. In mechanics? What type of mechanics were you into?
I'm a diesel and I did small aviation mechanic, but I also do motor work. So that's my background. That's all my dad taught me to do, but that's what I grew up doing and still do occasionally. I call that my hobby now.
Well, that's excellent. That sounds like you got all bases covered from the mechanics to the travel to the military. You sound like a real trendsetter. I mean, like all around trendsetter. And that's an awesome thing. I want to congratulate you on that. But I'm sorry for interrupting you. Keep going, please.
Oh, no worries at that. As you say, trendset, that's something I've taught my kids. I have 3 girls, no boys, so I have to have them look something similar to what I do. And I also realized that society has changed. It's not society as I was growing up. And you sort of have to adjust to whatever comes. I sort of tell my kids. And if right now entrepreneurship is really a big thing, if people haven't actually realized, you get more of the retail shops when you go inside malls, the people doing things for themselves. But however, I always notice that regardless of what they do, they have to travel. Travel itself it still is a $1 trillion industry, and with it being so large as it is, I just wanted 1% of it. So I got into the travel industry by chance. When I say chance, I wasn't looking to get this far into the travel industry. Of course, I still wanted to do my traveling, but however, I started seeing around the world how much people was actually traveling, helping people. I'm a big helping person. But I wanted to see people travel for less. I wanted to see families go on vacation that they couldn't go on. I know how hard it was in the beginning to take me and my 3 kids on a vacation working a 70-hour job. And I just wanted a difference for families because so just spend that, even just 2 days off together where they can experience a vacation to themselves and they're not thinking about anything else but work. Because I've also realized the more you travel, the less stress you have. So the longer you possibly can live. But however, God has to say on what life is, but it's a stress reliever. If you can get yourself away from what you're looking at now, it's a really big stress reliever if you can just see something different.
So what would you say is a hurdle that people face as a travel consultant, or even getting their first trip booked as a regular tourist? What would you say are examples of those hurdles?
Hurdles, I would probably say, especially getting into the industry, is learning it. I thought I knew everything about the travel industry just because I was traveling. But there's a lot of ins and outs. Me personally, when I first started, I'm never going to tell anybody it was easy. Just like any job or any career, doctors, lawyers, even a gas station owner, you have challenges and hurdles in front of you. I'm a big, like I say, people's person, so I love talking to people wherever I'm at to see what their needs and wants are. Booking, the vendors are absolutely amazing when it comes to us as a travel agent. They are the sweetest and most, and they're always looking to help us better ourselves when it comes to booking with them. The biggest hurdle I can probably say with booking different vendors or different allocation would be probably large groups. Sure, the only difficulty I could say is probably going to take a little bit more time than the normal 2 people going to Vegas trip. However, that's my hurdle I always try to accomplish because the larger the group is, sure, the more research, but that's also more detail you get to get in making their vacation or destination wedding or tour around the world the best thing you can possibly have. And it's almost that little feedback you get at the end when they said they had an amazing trip. All thanks to you, and you know that hard work you put in actually pays off. So it's consistency. I've put myself down in the beginning at first because I thought, sure, nobody was going to book with me. I thought I wasn't going to be able to even progress in being an entrepreneur because my mindset was already on working a corporate job, which I had for 10 years. And it's a consistency. It's getting out of comfort zone to actually see the world of travel. And then I realized I don't actually have to wait for somebody to ask me to go somewhere. I can tell them where they're going. And what I mean by that is simply, say for instance, if I decide to Valentine's Day or Bikers Fest is coming up in Myrtle Beach really soon, I'll put together a trip. If I want to go even, I'll put together a trip. It could be a bus trip going there, hotels, girls get away for a Bikers Fest. And it's promotion. The thing I know about there are a billion people in the world, and media is a really great market tool, regardless if somebody wants to use it or not. But because the way the world is transitioning to internet-based versus walking to people to do things, it's a lot easier to promote your trips. Yeah, Facebook, Eventbrite, Instagram, Twitter, you have all those access tools, internet-based, that has trillions of people on there. And I started realizing that more and more strangers were willing to go. They seen something exciting, they seen something they wanted to get away from, or something they had an idea in mind, and they invite their friends, and then their friends invite their friends, and that's how when my first trip started. It became people I did not know posted into a random group because it was something that they liked, and it sort of flew from there. And that's what I sort of do on a daily basis now is I think ahead time. I tell people, don't try to think of now. Think of something ahead. And if you don't make money in the first 30 days, there is nothing wrong with that because that's your way of working into exactly what you want to do. You have to build some type of success before you can actually jump into a lot of things.
Well, that sounds very good because I do understand exactly what you're saying. Business people that are looking at going into business who have never been in business for themselves tend to believe that all you have to do is have a product, open the doors, and they fall in. They don't realize that sometimes it takes a little bit of time. You know, a lot of businesses come and go really quickly, and most people will wonder what happened, what the issue was, but what they don't realize is it's a simple issue of marketing your product right, offering it to the public and having the public respond, and also consistency and quality. And it sounds like you've tapped into a gold mine and you've got your niche all cut out for you and you are making it work for you in your best interest. And I do applaud you for that. So one thing I want to ask you, another thing rather, is tell us something that's unique about an experience that you've had just in your traveling on your vacations.
Something unique. You know, that's something I tell people all the time. When you travel outside, even your home streets, something happens. My most unique thing I can probably say was taking my kids, with Maldives. We went for a week for like excursion, where no electricity, no lights, they couldn't have their tablets, their phones. They couldn't have a lot of stuff with them, and they had to sort of thrive on how the huts and villas was there. First 24 hours might have been their hardest thing, and that's because their phone died. The tablets died. They had no other way of communication with anybody, and they couldn't charge it. To me, that was humorous because military, being in the field, sometimes we didn't have that. But to look at your kids and realize that they actually thrive off the internet, and now the next 48 hours to 72 hours, they actually have to live along the villas and huts. They absolutely enjoy the next phase. When I say my kids went out with them and hunted with the other small children to get their food for their dinners, they didn't have the luxuries that we have here. So my uniqueness was that was seeing something relevant to how we do things so simple here, how simple they make it look there to come to hunting their food, making their clothing, their entertainment they had at night, their own light source was a bonfire they had at night. Where they cooked their food, they had a large gathering. And my kids brought that back home, and now it's more or less they appreciate the small things they might have, pillows, blankets, air conditioners. And it's unique to me because it puts something different in their mind that you don't actually have to fall in the same trend set that everybody else does. You can actually be abundant doing something different because they're not over there complaining. They're making their own food, clothing. They can actually make money if they chose to market it, but because they're so close-knit, they keep it to themselves. But my kids learn how to make jewelry. I would say they sell jewelry with my younger ones' entrepreneurial skills. With their jewelry selling, whether it's bottle tops, whether it's beads, and they find things useful that they can see outside versus trying to spend their money to make money from. And I tell them even that small stuff right there is going to give you something different in life. Because if you think small, where you don't have to spend money to make money, it's awesome. So that means when you actually spend the money, you don't have to actually use it and put it in the right places.
Very true, very true.
My only thing is I would say is if you ever go to the Caribbean, Bahamas and Jamaica, I would say they're sort of the same. But the warm feeling you get when you get there, because I know they know we're tourists and our accents are hard and different, but they treat you with so much different respect than I guess you say you irritate. So the uniqueness I get from outside is just that warm feeling. I love that cultural feeling that they have with each other. And I always try to bring that back here to people I bump into, because I live a really positive life every single day. So anybody that runs into me, they know my most two words are always going to be, it's an amazing day, or that's very interesting. Those are my main two common words. But I tell people it's an amazing day because I try to get their look to change on something. If you tell somebody something positive and they're already thinking something negative, they will actually switch it to a positive mind frame and change their whole day up. So they might actually be able to help somebody else throughout their day. I think in the same way when I go to the Caribbean, their first thing is always making sure we're okay. We have what we need. You need anything else. But our common courtesies aren't the same here. So I love the close-knit family ties, uniqueness they have whenever I go